Hi guys, so today we're going to do a 2-for-1 video. We are going to do a review video and also one of my favorite products. So I thought it would be a great idea because I've been using this product for quite a long time and I've never done a review on it to show those of you that have never used it why it's so great. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about the Fusion Mineral Paint. This is an awesome paint line. It is a full paint line, and what that means is they have products from prep to paint to finish, which is awesome. They also come in 2 sizes, so we have this large guy here and then this smaller one here. This one here is truly for, it's a sample size. It's for tiny little projects. If you just want to try out the paint and you're not ready to commit completely. But this is $19.99 and I believe these are between $7.99 and $9.99. So the price point is awesome. This goes a long way. A couple of things that I look for when I'm looking at different paints or new paints is coverage. How does the product cover? The consistency of the product. Is it available in my local area? That's obviously important because if you're, you don't want to order it online and wait, and it's something that you want to be able to have, that's important. What type of paint line do they have? As I mentioned, Fusion has a full paint line. Not every paint line does. I do like to use and stick with a lot of the same line products when I'm working with them. Color selection. Fusion has over 50 colors and great colors. Now you can mix colors to achieve what you're looking for, but I almost guarantee you with Fusion, you're gonna find a color that you love. So, and mixing is not for everybody. A lot of people just don't wanna be bothered. They just wanna go straight out of the bottle or the jar and get started. So Fusion is awesome for that. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna tip the camera down and I'm gonna show you guys the application of this paint, and you're just gonna see one of the reasons why I think it's so fantastic. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Now, normally what I tell people is to definitely stir. The product will separate. Now, I've been using this for another project I have going on right now. Ash, which is this color, is one of my most popular colors right now. So always stir. This one's already open. I'm all gloved up and ready because I'm super messy. I have my Klingon brush, which I definitely recommend using the Klingon brush. This is the F50, and this brush is phenomenal. They claim that there is no brush strokes with this brush, and their claim is pretty darn true. I use this with every project, and absolutely comes out beautiful. So the combination of these two together, you're gonna get just the most beautiful finish. Now we're using today a primed practice board. Actually, this is molding that my husband cuts for me, and that way I can use these for my review videos. But you're gonna just see how beautiful the coverage is on this. Now, of course, darker colors tend to have more coverage, obviously. And so a dark color on a white board is gonna cover beautifully. Now, I will tell you that the light colors with Fusion, they all have wonderful coverage. No paint is going to give you the coverage that you're looking for in one coat, and most likely not even 2. I typically do 3 as a standard, and that's just because that's my style. I do not care for a paint that, or a project that shows like peek through of the wood. I like a very solid look. So it just depends on your style, but the coverage on Fusion mineral paints is just phenomenal. I have yet to find a color, even the light ones, that I have had problems with. 3 coats does it. 2 coats you can really get away with on these light, darker colors, but 3 coats with a light color all said and done is gonna get your job done. So this is, sorry, I went too high. This is our practice board with the 1 coat. You can see how beautifully smooth it goes on with that Klingon brush. So we're gonna go ahead and let this set up and dry. Typically, the dry time for this is between 1 to 2 hours. And I will tell you that that's going to depend on your weather conditions. If you've got a very moist day where it's raining and there's no sun and it's cold, I would definitely let the project sit for 2 hours. I wouldn't rush it. There are things that can happen when you rush your project, and I'll talk about that when we come back. Okay guys, so we're back. It's been about 30 minutes. So normally if you're working on a project with this paint, it's an hour to 2 hours maximum dry time, as I talked about before. Since we're working on a practice board, it's been about 30 minutes. Obviously it's a very small piece, so it dries a lot faster. So let me show you guys what we've got after one coat. Isn't that just beautiful? I mean, the coverage on one coat, it's just gorgeous. That is one of the reasons that this is one of my favorite paints, is the coverage is so beautiful. It's gone on flawlessly, the first coat, and I talk about this in some of my other review videos. Excuse me. Some of the paints will go on with a really nice first coat, and then when you go to apply your second coat, it kind of drags a little bit. It's not as easy and smooth. This paint, all applications are equal. First, second, third coats, they all go on so nice. They layer up beautifully. So let's go ahead and put the second coat on, and so that we can go ahead and see how that goes. Now on this color, I'm only going to do 2 coats, and I know that because I've used it so often. And so let's see what it looks like. Okay, so we are going to, let me show you. So this is my trick. I talk about this. Actually, I did this as one of my tips and tricks in my newsletter. And if you guys want to subscribe to my newsletter, just private message me your email and I'll get you on that distribution list. There's all kinds of good tips, tricks, products, featured pieces of the month, all that fun stuff. But this is one of my go-to things. I have Saran wrap on like complete supply all the time, because you know, when you're working on pieces and you don't want to have to wash your brush every time in between using the same paint color, just wrap it on up in your Saran wrap. So we're gonna go ahead and apply our second coat. And one of the things that I love about this paint is the consistency. You will find with different paint lines, there are different consistencies. Different colors even provide different consistencies. This, I would say through and through, all the Fusion colors kind of have the same thinner consistency, thinner but great coverage. And I absolutely love that. That's probably one of the reasons that I feel like each coat or layer goes on so nicely. Because it's a thinner consistency, it's easy to work with. You don't have to water it or thin it out at all. And it just goes on so nice and smooth. So this is our second coat. I mean, just look at the beauty in that. The brush strokes are so minimal. Now that is due in part to the brush that you're using, the paint that you're using, and then of course your technique. So listen, if you're a beginner and you don't have the technique down yet, and you kind of haven't figured out how not to be heavy-handed or how not to push those brush strokes and get them in there, at least you've got 2 out of 3. You've got great paint and you've got a great brush. So I would totally recommend, if you do anything when you're learning how to paint, get good equipment. Klingon brush. All right, we're gonna let that set up and dry, and I will come back to you and show you that second coat, and then we'll do a recap and talk about why this is my absolute favorite. Okay, you guys, stay tuned. Hey guys, that's it. We are at the end of the video, and I wanna show you the finished practice board. We did 2 coats. Look how beautiful that finish is. I mean, really up close, you can really see how nicely it goes on. It's got a gorgeous sheen. It's in between kind of a matte and a satin, and it has just come out beautifully. So as I mentioned earlier, you do not have to top coat this. It is an all-in-one paint, one of the reasons that I love it. However, if you do choose to top coat it, I brought out some of my things to show you that Fusion makes for top coating, and I've used all of them. Not at once, of course, but I've used all on different projects, and I absolutely love them. So let's go over real quick so I can show you. One of them is their hemp oil, and this is an excellent product for finishing. It really deepens and enriches the color. It adds durability. You do have to do several coats of it. It is very easy to apply. You wipe it on, wait 30 minutes, wipe it off. It richens deep, dark colors, which I've used it on navy and black and this dark gray. Comes out absolutely beautiful. So and it's food safe, so if you use it on something, you know, a piece that you've painted in your kitchen that you're gonna be using, or just on bare wood, you can use it. So great product. The other thing they have is the Fusion Tough Top Coat. This is a matte poly top coat, And this is also a wipe on. This is a non-yellowing top coat, and I can tell you I've used it on white and it is absolutely not yellowing. So it's a really great tough top coat. Very easy to work with. Again, it's a wipe on and I really, really like it. So check that one out. And then their last one that they have is their wax. And this is also a really nice finish. It's buildable. It gives you kind of that real velvety, smooth look. Wipe it on, wait a few minutes, buff it off. So this can be used on all colors and it just provides extra durability and a really nice finish. Now, as I mentioned earlier, all in one. So if you don't want to do any of these, you absolutely don't have to. These are extra added protection that you can put on, but if you don't choose to, you don't have to. I have several pieces of my own that I did not seal the bodies on, and they hold up just beautifully. So just wanted to show you guys those as their options, and that is one of the reasons that I love the Fusion paint line. It's a full paint line, as I talked about earlier, and that's awesome because I love to try to stick with one line if I find a lot of products that work with it, because they tend to work really well together. So there's that. So kind of recapping why this is my favorite. So one is the color selection. They have over 50 colors, so they have a great selection of color. Two is the availability. That's one thing I look for in paint lines, is to make sure they're going to be available in my local area. You can order online from Fusion, but there are several retailers that do carry this, so just look it up in your area. The other thing is coverage and consistency. The coverage is excellent. As you see, we put 2 coats on this practice board. Typically, like I said earlier, I put on 3, and that's just me. But let me tell you, 2 coats, excellent coverage. Love that. The consistency is extremely easy to work with. There's no difference as you're layering on your coats from first to second to third. They all go on equally as smooth and nice, and they don't have to be thinned out at all. So I love that about Fusion Mineral Paint Line. And it just creates such an awesome end result. Like I said, I use this as one of my #1 paint lines in my shop. When I first started, I really was slow to start to pick it up and use it, and now it's like one of the main paints that I use all the time. There's literally nothing that I have, and I try to be very objective when I do my review videos, that I can say negatively about this paint line. I really don't. So definitely check it out. And I appreciate you guys watching today and tuning in. Please pass me along to your friends and family or whoever might be interested, because I'm always looking for new subscribers. So thank you very much, and I'll catch you on the next one. Talk to you later.